Hello everyone, it is Slate Spire 2 patch day. So these changes are going to be coming in a few days. I don't actually know when exactly. Right now you can already play them with the beta launch, but I think there are going to be some adjustments to these changes before they actually come officially. Because I think some of them might be very unpopular. And something I'm going to be doing for this video specifically is that I'm going to be giving you what the original card was. So this patch is actually quite big. There's a lot of reworks, balancements and stuff like that. Some art, localization bugs, yeah, some random stuff here, and I'm going to be going over all of it in this video. And I'm also going to show you what the card used to look like as well. So reworked Dominate, so this is now going to be different. It is now going to apply 1 or 2 vulnerable upgraded and gain 1 strength for each vulnerable on the enemy and exhaust. So Dominate already, I've been using it a lot in my runs because I don't really like going infinite, and this is actually going to remove a lot of infinite stuff. But yeah, you can use it to gain strength based on vulnerable, and now it's going to put vulnerable and then give you the strength, and it's also going to exhaust. The upgraded version used to not exhaust, so something you could do is like headbutt it back and you could double the strength you just gained and like go to like 60 strength pretty easily with this and some vulnerable applying tools, but now it is less conditional. This card is going to be extremely good because remember, you have a bass in your starting deck, so you play this after the bass, and if they are both upgraded you're going to be gaining 5 strength from that. Not bad at all. Expect a Fight is going to be reworked, so it is going to cost 2 or 1 and gain energy for each attack in your hand. You cannot gain additional energy this turn. So this is to remove the infinite, or one of the infinites that you could do with Ironclad. Don't worry, there are still a lot of infinites left, but the most easy and disgusting ones are going to be removed. Spite, it is going to deal 5 damage, and if you lost HP this turn, it hits 2 or 3 times, so it can deal 15 damage or 20 damage upgraded if you lose some HP. So extremely nice damage card, but it is no longer going to be drawing. The fact it is still 0 cost, I do think this is going to be very good still. But you know, previously it was just basically you get this, you get a Spite, you get some kind of energy generation like Expect a Fight, and then some other card to draw the Spite again, and then you have an infinite. Congratulations. Alright, reworked Stoke. Stoke was part of it because you could get rid of your hand even if you had like 20 cards. Just make sure none of the combo pieces are there and just exhaust all of it. And reworked Stoke, it is going to still cost 1. And it is going to add 1 random card into your hand for each card exhausted. So if you upgrade it, you can add upgraded cards into your hand at random. I think this sounds like absolute garbage to me. For a rare especially, but it is a very strong effect if you get like a good hit from it, you know? I don't know if I like it though. I feel like this is not it. But, you know, if you've got a hand with strikes and defense, it's still going to give you something better for it. Prepared is also getting reworked because it was extremely overpowered with Tesla cards. And of course there's also the corrosive wave and like the fact that you can get the master planner and then discard the acrobatics with the prepared, so that you can just draw 20 cards in a turn for free thanks to the prepared. It is now going to cost 1 and it is only going to discard 2 cards, and then next turn you gain 2 or 3 energy upgraded. This sounds like a lot like the Necrobinder card, but I do think this effect is a little bit stronger than Summoning 2. But yeah, this is very similar to that card, and I don't think I like this, to be honest. I really like Prepared. Like, it's just a really cool card. You get to cycle your deck really fast. It's kinda the key to why Silent is able to cycle the deck in the first place, so I don't like this change. I hope they do something else to change it. Maybe increase the rarity, increase the cost to 1, but keep the effect. But this is going to be too similar to acrobatics. I don't know, let's just move forward. Then Glow, so cost 1 common, gain 1 2 stars, draw 1 card. Next turn draw 1 card. So what it was doing before, I think it was gaining 1 or upgraded 2 stars and then drawing 2 cards. So 1 less infinite with the glow. Hidden gem as well. Cost 1. A random card in your draw pile without replay gains replay 2 or 3. And I am guessing this is done because you could get another copy of hidden gem. And if the hidden gem hits the hidden gem, and then the hidden gem hits the hidden gem, then you can pretty fast go to like replay 2000 with all of your cards, as long as you get it rolling. Also, it was quite annoying if you got double like replay 6 on a strike, so it's like both ways. It's kinda annoying to get it, and yeah. Overall, this is a very strong card. Next up, Doormaker. Doormaker is going to be changed, and Doormaker, I know that the new moves that he does, I'm not going to spoil you, so if you don't want to be spoiled, skip 20 seconds ahead. Basically, every 10 cards you draw, he makes, like, takes one of them, like, permanently removed into, like, a separate pile than exhaust. Basically, he takes the entire card out, and you cannot do anything about it, and it's really unpopular, this new change for the Doormaker. I think it should be every 10 cards you play, exhaust 1 card, or maybe like when you draw, you need to like choose which card you're exhausting, something like that. I think it's really bad. I think this needs to be remade ASAP. I think this cannot go through. This is way too annoying because it is RNC. It might just randomly. Imagine you're running a Sif deck with Envenom to kill the enemies, and then he just randomly burns your Envenom on turn 1 when you use your acrobatics to draw it, and now you suddenly have a nothing. So yeah, Doormaker, very problematic, he needs to be changed. And then Skulking Colony, it is the Act 1 enemy that gains strength when he is able to go through your block. It is pretty scary that they gave him something even stronger, because I think he's extremely scary. I played against him in multiplayer with another player, my brother, and both of us got hit by him, by his multi-attack, and the next turn he had 20 strength and we just lost to this random Skulking Colony on like turn 2, because it's just one-shot both of us. So yeah, I don't know what the deadlier moves it is, but I think this enemy is pretty fucking scary, if it can hit you anyway. If it can't, I guess it's kinda weak. Added new Niao Blessings, so there's 2 more. Hefty Tablet, choose 1 of 3 rare cards to add to your deck. Add 1 injury to your deck. So this is very similar to the old one, but now there is a negative. Like a specific negative, it's not like a random. It is just an injury. Injury, I think it doesn't do anything, it's a curse that uses draw. So I think it's a pretty good blessing to choose, especially if the other ones are kinda shit. And new Niao's Talisman. Upgrade 1 of your strikes and 1 of your defense. I would say that this one is really bad. If you don't want any of the other ones, I guess you can take this. Maybe it might be decent. I mean, like, considering the RNC, you might get something really bad from the other options, but on average, the random card you get is going to be better than an upgraded strike or an upgraded defense. Because, I mean, anyway, you want to remove all of the strikes and defense anyway, so it's... I mean, I guess it's upgraded, it's a bonus. There's also no negative from it, which I guess I am undervaluing right now. Then some interesting balance changes, and the first one I immediately notice. All relics in the shop cost 25 gold less, and relics that generate gold cannot be appearing in the shop. So this does not include the membership card or the courier, by the way, I don't think it counts that. But yeah, I think this is a really good change. Obviously you are never going to buy a 200 gold relic to gain 10 gold per fight, you know, or 20% more gold, because it's never going to pay itself back, you know. Even if you got like the earliest shop possible and you bought a Amethyst Aubergine, it would pay itself back by like floor 40. Like why would you ever do that? So yeah, they are going to make it not appear in the shop, and the relics cost less. So this is actually kind of extremely strong, if you think about it. Like you always want to buy relics. So this is a really big buff to the player. And this alone like makes it not as negative if they nerf some cards more than they buff. Power values I don't know what this is exactly for, and you cannot acquire epochs in daily or custom runs, which I guess it's pretty good because you can just do a custom where you get everything at the start and you just absolutely destroy it. So yeah, and certain character stats no longer update in daily or custom runs, probably similar to that. So Ironclad buffed Break. Energy cost decreased by 1 and damage increased by 5. I have not played with Break yet. I don't know what it does. I don't remember it. I think it's probably something with exhaust, right? I don't know. I don't know what this does. But it does cost 1 now. That sounds pretty good. What is the negative for this card? Because it's very good. Cinder is the one that exhausts the top card of your deck. So Cinder is basically the Doormaker, the remade Doormaker, but you're doing it to yourself. The Ironclad has another card that does the same thing, and it is very risky to play that. There's also Tetskara. One of her or his or its blessings also give you the same effect. Fight Me. This is the card that gives enemies 1 strength and you gain more strength and do 10 damage. So the self-strength gain is buffed by 1. That's definitely important. Actually interesting, the strength deck is going to be a lot stronger. They made 2 changes that both make the strength gain a lot better. Forgotten Ritual, it now exhausts, so this card is going to be a lot worse. I already don't really like it, but I mean you can go infinite with it and then it's another infinite card, you know. But the fact that it's going to exhaust, I don't like it. It is so conditional, you need to exhaust the card for it. But I mean in an exhaust deck I guess you can. And I guess the Forgotten Ritual exhausting means the other one is going to be triggered by this one. So if you just play it and another one. Anyway, Hemokinesis. So this is the one that does 1 damage or 2 damage to you. For 1 mana energy, I mean. It's going to do 1 more damage. Tremble is going to be buffed. Tremble is just the one that gives you vulnerable for 1 cost. So this means that the vulnerable is better. Tremble being buffed, the Fight Me getting buffed, and then also this Dominate. Yeah, Dominate and those 2 cards as well. Tremble, all of the vulnerable stuff is getting buffed. Well, at least the vulnerable stuff. So it's actually, I think that archetype is going to be a lot stronger now. And I already like it. I think it's my favorite so far out of the ones I've played. Anticipate. So Anticipate I haven't really used before, but it makes sense because you gain, it's basically a footwork for free, for 0 cost, and because of the fact that the Silent can cycle their deck so fast, you can play this and then get the full value from it because you cycled your entire deck. So it's pretty good. I don't feel it's that good, but yeah. Corrosive Wave is absolutely busted. This makes a lot of sense. Poison decreased from 3-4 to 2-3. So Corrosive Wave is the one that makes you put poison on all enemies. It's AoE, it only costs 1, and it puts poison for every single card you draw. So you play the Corrosive Wave into a Acrobatics, and pre-nerf, if the Acrobatics and Corrosive Wave were both upgraded, you would get 16 poison on all enemies for 2 energy, and you would also draw the cards obviously. And if you had the Master Planner, it could go even wilder and it could absolutely cook the enemies. Nerfed Flick Flack, so damage decreased from 7-9 to 6-8, so 1 less damage for Flick Flack. Makes sense because this card is insane. Yeah, what if you made a already pretty decent AoE card, just play for free, you know? Like think about the Hidden Knives, or you know, the one that gives you like 4 damage twice, you know that one? Like this is that card, but for free, basically. It does 1 less damage before. Now it does 2 less damage, but it is free most of the time because you're playing it with a discard synergy anyway. Buffed Grand Finale. Damage increased from 50-60 to 60-75. So if you can get it off, it's going to be more insane than it was before. It is still impossible to get it off, but I mean, at least if you can get it, it is a little bit better. Nerfed pinpoint, damage decreased from 1722 to 1519. I don't remember what pinpoint was. I'm just going to put the card on there. I don't have any thoughts on that. And skewer is the same as in Slay the Spire 1 before. So they are increasing it from 710 to 811, which makes sense because this was really bad. And nerfed untouchable. Untouchable is the 2-cost block card that lets you discard it for free and get the effect. So it makes sense that this was nerfed, because even if you are not discarding it, it was already like a pretty decent card. Like, it's alright. You know, you get 2 mana, you pay a little extra, but you get 9 block. So even if you weren't discarding it, I was just taking it, hoping that I find the next discard cards to make this completely busted. So yeah, makes sense. This untouchable was so insane. Alignment. Star cost increased 2 to 3. I don't remember what alignment does. Begone, it's the one that converts things into minion strikes before, now minion dive bomb. I haven't played that much recent, so I don't remember what these things exactly do. Bundle of Joy. Okay, this is the really bad one. So it's going to now cost 1 energy. And Bundle of Joy is the one that gives you 3 random colorless cards into your hand, and they aren't even free, so this needs to be buffed. This is a rare card, and it is worse than a strike in your deck. I would rather get unnerved strike than this card. Changed charge. Now creates minion dive bomb cards instead of minion strike cards. So collision course, I don't remember what collision course does. I think it's... yeah, it definitely gives you a debris. I don't remember what it does though. Gather a light. Block increased from 710 to 811. So Gather Light is the one that costs 1. It's a 1-cost block that gives you block and a single star. Already quite passable. I don't think it needed to be buffed, but it's nice. Heirloom Hammer. So damage increase 1722 to 2025. So Heirloom Hammer is the one that copies your colorless cards. In other words, it copies your sword, and then you have 2 Giga Swords in your hand that you can smith at the same time. I think it also does copy, like, you can use it in the colorless cards, but who even does that? I don't think they are very good. I wonder if it would work with the minion strike stuff as well. I think that could be a combo. I am invincible. Block goes 1 up. So I am invincible is the one that automatically plays from the top of your draw pile. You know, imagine you have this card against the door maker again, and he just eats that shit. Kingly Kick and Kingly Punch. So damage increase or both of them buffed. Kingly Kick is the one that costs 1 less every time you draw it. So it's going to do 3 more damage. So the first time you draw it, it's going to be a 3 cost 27 or 35 damage card, and that's actually passable. I think that's pretty good actually. It is just that the Regent can do some way more broken things, so these 2 rares were not something you should play around. And then Kingly Punch. Base damage increased from 8.8 to 8.10, so you can upgrade it to do more damage. And then the scaling is increased 3.5 to 4.6. I mean, this is basically Rampage, if you think about it. Like, effectively, it does the same thing. You draw it, and it actually stacks. It's a little bit better than Rampage, actually worse, because Rampage does stack faster. But yeah, this is going to make it playable. This wasn't exactly good before. I don't think this was a rare, was it? I don't remember. Minion Dive Bomb. So this is going to be a 0 cost now, and Minion Strike is going to do less damage. I think Minion Strike was also 0 cost, right? Yeah, I think it was. Parry is going to be buffed. This is the one that gives you block when you play the blades that you're forging. So in other words, this card is probably still kinda trash, but 8 block is something. It is still really bad. Like really bad. Alright, Batter. Block increased from 8.10 to 9.11. I don't remember what this one does. Solar Strike buffed. Solar Strike is the one that you just do a strike and it gives you 1 star, and it's gonna do 1 more damage. So it's going to be a pretty nice damage common, you know. Spoils of battle. So I think this was a common, right? I think this is the one that only forces. So it is going to forge a little bit harder. I think this could be playable, honestly. Like, it does take it from a 3 mana 30 damage to a 3 mana 32. Or was the... How much does the blade do at the start? When you create it? I don't remember, but this is pretty decent. Nerfed Void Worm. So this is his 3 cost power. So it is now ethereal. And it does not get a +1 card. So you play the first card. The first card you play is free. It was, before this change, you upgrade it and it makes 2 cards that you play free. So in other words, this card was broken. It's very similar to Echo Form, but it does do something different. Like with this one you cheat out, with Echo Form you play twice. Wrought in 4, Force increased 5/7 to 7/9. I don't remember what this does. I think this might be an attack, right? I'm just going to put the card on the screen. Necrobinder, Banshee's Cry. So this is the one that does something. Was it with souls or was it with exhaust or something like that? It was very strong in my head, so I think it makes sense that it's going to cost more. And upgrade no longer increases damage. I don't know how much it was doing before, but I do remember seeing it and it did pretty high damage. So borrowed time as well. So self-doom increased from 3/3 to 6/3. Energy gain no longer increases on upgrade. So you can just upgrade this to get you less doom on yourself. You could definitely go infinite with it and capture spirit, which they are also nerfing, and they were just by themselves extremely strong as well. And capture spirit was kinda like a card that you take no matter what. Because yeah, it was generating 3 souls upgraded and taking 3 health from the enemy. No, it was upgraded 4 souls. That's, by the way, draw 8. For a 1 mana card. Energy, I mean. Energy. I keep on calling it mana. Dance Macabre. Block increased from 3/4 to 4/6. That's actually a very nice buff. So Dance Macabre was the one that gives you the power that gives you block every time you play a card that costs 2 or more. I think that makes sense. I think it was really bad. Debilitate. Damage increased from 7/9 to 10/12. I don't remember what this does. Defy. So this is the block card that gives you block and then 2 weak upgraded. Upgrade no longer increases weak, so it only gives you 1 weak, but increases block by +3 instead of +1. I think it was like a 1 cost, block 6 and 1 weak, and then upgraded 7 block and 2 weak. It makes sense because it was a block card that gives you multiple weak. So it was way better than the leg sweep on the silent, and leg sweep is an extremely good card because it double blocks, you know. It doesn't block once, it also gives weak to block even more. Nerfed Dirge, now exhausts. I think Dirge is the one that gives you summon Osti and at the same time shuffle souls into your deck. So compared or combined this Dirge getting nerfed and also Capture Spirit. So with both of these getting out, like what I was doing before with the Necrobinder was dirging and then Capture Spiriting, and I had the power that grew Osti when you played souls, and I got the power to do damage when you played the souls. It makes that build way worse, especially like because I think that's the only way that summon is actually decent. Otherwise summoning is kinda horrible. You can't really out-sustain your enemies, like you cannot block for the Osti well enough to grow it to actually do something. So I think summoning is quite weak, and this is going to make the summoning way worse. And the souls way worse, but the souls were extremely strong in the first place, so it doesn't really matter that much. Grave Warden was another command that was extremely strong. Upgrade changed from 8 to 10 block to 8 to 11 block, and no longer upgrades the soul. So this is very fair, because this Grave Warden was a common card that gave you 8 block and gave you a soul or 10 upgraded, and gave you a soul plus. If you haven't played the Necrobinder before, a soul gives you draw 2, soul plus gives you draw 3 for 0. At least they need to be in your deck, so you need to draw them first, but if you have souls, you probably have them in your hand, so it is effectively this turn draw 3, while also blocking for 10, costing 1 mana, and being a common, energy I mean. And then finally Sculpting Strike, damage increased from 811 to 912. This is the 1 cost attack that makes you exhaust a card in your hand. It gives it ethereal. And I think it's not only for this turn, it's like multiple turns, so it makes the ethereal stuff a lot stronger. And I mean, Sculpting Strike was also pretty good just for removing a random strike in your hand, or a curse, or a status effect that the enemies gave you. So this is actually really nice. And a nerfed Seance, cost increased from 1 or 0 to 1, 0, and upgrade no longer makes a soul plus. I don't remember what Seance does, actually. I think it's the one that changes your a card in your deck to be a soul. Yeah, it was really strong as well, because you could clean up your deck with it, and then you can go infinite after. So yeah, they did say in these patch notes that they want to remove infinites, and almost all of these changes are to make infinites a little bit harder to get, because they were a bit disgusting. If you have played the previous game, it was like every character on launch was the Watcher, you know? Like everyone's going infinite, like every time. So then the defect nerfed hotfix, so it has exhaust. I think that makes sense. The upgrade now removes exhaust instead of increasing focus. So hotfix was extremely good. I don't really like the temporary focus that much, but with this card it was absolutely insane, because you can all for one it back, or just hologram it back, or something like that. So you could basically have it every turn online, and it gave you 3 focus for 0 energy, and then you have like some lightning orbs or some glass orbs, and then you can play this twice, thrice, 4 times, and use it once at the enemy, you know? So I think it's very fair that it is going to be getting exhaust, because this was a common, so you could get it almost every game. And then buffed Rocket Punch. Cost reduction effect now lasts until it is played, instead of just until the end of turn. This was actually not end of turn, because if you played it once and then you called it back, it actually cost 2 energy, so I was a bit disappointed with the Rocket Punch, but now the actual effect reads correct, and it's also multiple turns, so it's very nice. 2 energy, deal 13 damage, and draw 2 upgraded, right? So I've been taking it almost every time I'm playing with the defect, and because with the defect my favorite is the claw build, and with the claw build you also get a lot of 0 cost stuff that creates statuses in your deck, and then the Rocket Punch becomes a 0 cost and you can all for one it back. So yeah, I'm happy it is getting this change, because now you can change it or take it, and you don't need to rely on like draws completely fucking you. If you just have the deck, like this is usually going to be a draw. So yeah, Rocket Punch is really nice. Buffed Seeker Strike, damage increased from 6-9 to 9-12. I actually think Seeker Strike was already really nice, so it is interesting that they buffed it. Seeker Strike is the one that calls from 3 cards in your deck. You can take one of them into your hand, or 3 cards in your draw pile, rather. So yeah, I think it's really strong. And changed Discovery as well. It costs 0 this turn, it is free to play this turn. So yeah, it is for the Regent to make it better for him. Okay. Then buffed Eternal Armor, which makes sense, this card was absolutely garbage before. So plating increased from 7-9 to 9-12. And I can see the effect of what this could be, because recently I had an Ironclad run, where I got offered, you know, the Ironclad plating card 3 times. You know that one? That gives you upgraded 6 plating for 1 energy. This thing costs 3 energy, and it originally gave 3 more plating, which was absolutely horrible. But if you can stack the plating, it basically becomes permanent. 1 plating is kinda crap, 2 plating is pretty good, 3 plating, that's getting nice. 4 plating, that's 10 block, 5 plating that's 15 block, 6 plating that's 21 block, 7 plating that's 28 block, and it keeps on ramping and ramping and ramping and ramping, you know. I think this is going to actually make it playable. It is still a 3 cost rare power, so in other words you can only play it once and it only gives you 9 plating unupgraded. But if you do get it upgraded, especially if you get it early game, it can actually block a lot of encounters almost perfectly with the 12 block per turn, and so you can focus on the attacks. Hidden gem. No longer generated in combat by effects like a skill potion. Interesting. I think there was probably some crazy combos you could get with that otherwise. Production. Upgrade changed from losing exhaust to +1 additional energy. I think production is the one that gives you 2 energy and originally exhausts, but now you can upgrade it to give 3 energy and exhaust. Still a really good card, probably an upgrade for it to be honest, in most situations. Unless you are playing with all for one, where this is a nerf. Alright, potions and relics. I made this aubergine. So gold gain increased from 10 to 15, so this is the one that gives you gold every time you kill an enemy. That is actually a very big change. This relic is 50% better. I guess it was really weak before, but I always felt it was pretty decent. It already doubled your gold gain. I think this is going to be an absolutely insane relic now. A book of 5 rings is going to give you more healing, 5 more. It is going to still be kinda bad, but this is probably going to proc like 1 or 2 times in the game when you add some cards. It's a nice healing. You're never going to want this, but it is going to be there. And you're going to be like, oh wow, yeah, I healed. A bowler hat. Give a gold gain increased from 20% to 25%. I feel like that's probably pretty good. I'm pretty sure I'm getting like about 1000 gold at the end of the run usually. So if you get this early game, it's going to generate 250 gold. I feel like the bowler hat is probably not the best. But of course you might get an insane gold run, you know. And besides for that, there's also the recent power that gives you 30 gold when you play it. So yeah, there are some very nice combinations with that. Permafrost upgrade. So the block gain increased from 6 to 7. This is the one that gives you block when you play a power the first time. Not every time, just one time. This is actually quite underrated already. I mean, it is just extra block every single time, you know. It isn't as good as maybe like a boat relic, you know, but you can guarantee that you get it on the turn. And it is basically an extra defend that you are cheating out, you know. So I think this is actually a really nice change. 7 block is a lot more than 6. Planisphere relic also buffed. HP gain increased by 1. So Planisphere is the one that gives you healing every time you go to an event, to, you know, incentivize you going there and healing a little bit. Yeah, this makes it really good sustain now. It's going to be like 15, maybe 20 every act usually. And you can of course change your pathing to go to more question marks. So yeah, I think this is really good. Stone Cracker relic now works in all combats but only upgrades 2 cards. I don't remember what this is. So it's going to give you one less upgrade. I don't remember what this one is. Is it the ancient reward that upgraded permanently, or is it the one that upgrades at combat start? I don't remember. Some enemy changes. So they nerfed Bygone Effigy, which makes a lot of sense because this thing was a fucking monster. So it actually hits with 25, because the second turn it gains 10 strength and then it starts, you know, fighting. First 2 turns it is sleeping and then it starts wailing on you. I think it makes sense that it's going to do less damage, because an Act 1 enemy doing 25 damage or 27 with Ascension 9, I think. Like, there's no way you can ever block that. So you needed to burst it before turn 3 or maybe turn 4 or 5. I mean, there's things you can do to block it. It's not that strong, you know. But it's very rare that you have that in Act 1, so it was a very scary enemy. Buffed also Birdonis. Birdonis was pretty weak, makes sense. They're just going to make the weaker attack that it does, you know, the single target attack, do 1 more damage. Not a big change, to be honest. changed Calcified Cultist and Toadpole into Calcified Cultist and Sea-Punk. Sea-Punk is stronger than the Toadpole, so this encounter is going to be harder. Rocket Claw, so this is the boss battle, the grab boss battle in Act 2. They are going to give the claws, each of them 10 more health. And when the other claw dies, it's going to get 1 more strength than before. And the Ascension, when you go to Ascension 9 or 8, I think Ascension 9, the charge up is going to get more strength when it does it. To be honest, I felt like this is the strongest Act 2 boss by a big margin. I think every time I've tried to an Act 2 boss it has been to this thing. And even with AoE decks it can be pretty hard to deal with him. For example, I had an Ironclad deck and then my Stampede automatically played a card on the other claw when the Rocket Claw was doing its Giga attack, and I went from almost full blocking it to taking 49 damage out of nowhere and dying. So yeah, I think this enemy is actually the strongest in Act 2, so I'm surprised that they made it even harder. Nerfed Decimillipede, so it is going to have 2 less HP. This is another enemy that has killed me a few times, and the 2 HP difference is actually going to make the difference. In the time that it has killed me, I think it has been a question of like 2 HP, because if you cannot kill all 3 parts, they just recover at half health. Fabricator, HP value of all bots decreased by 5. So this is the Act 3 normal enemy that summons the mini sealed bots that do crazy damage and have 25 HP. Now they are going to have 20. And I think this Fabricator was extremely strong, so it makes sense. The Tunneler normal encounter is changed. A Bowlbug, I think that is... I don't remember what the Bowlbug does. Is it the one that does 15 damage on turn 1? It is now going to be a Chomper, and Chomper gives a Dazed, and then goes to attacking by 8 times 2, so a Chomper is more dangerous. Nerfed the Living Fog. So the Gas Bomb, the things that it spawns out of itself, they are going to have 3 less HP. Or 4 on Ascension 8. Yeah, this needed to be changed. Like, it is way too strong compared to the other Act 1 normal enemies that you can fight. Lost and the Forgotten, so this is the ones that steal your strength and dexterity, and if you kill them, you can get it back. So they are going to steal 3 strength and dexterity on Ascension 9. Okay. And the Forgotten now deals an additional point of damage every dexterity it has. So this enemy was pretty weak before, so they're making it a little bit tougher. But I did think this was pretty tough before, to be honest. So Nibbit is going to do, on Ascension 9 and Ascension 8, they are going to do a little bit more. So it is going to gain 1 more block on its block move, it is going to do 1 more damage on the Slice move, and it's going to gain 3 strength instead of 2. The Phantasmal Gardeners, so these are the 3 or 4 elites, I mean. Makes sense, they were extremely strong. The fishes that gain the curl up every turn. They are going to have 2 less HP. 2 to 1 less HP. Okay, that's really nice. They were very strong. And I think people are going to underestimate how much of a difference it makes, because, you know, there are 4 of these guys. So actually it is potentially 8 HP less on the enemies. They made the Sea-Punk stronger, and I think that makes sense, because the Sea-Punk was really weak. So on Ascension 9, yeah, Ascension 9 it's going to do 1 more damage. Makes sense. Terror Eel. So Terror Eel is the Act 1 elite that goes from attacking like crazy, and then like gives you terror and goes into attacking like giga crazy after the turn. It was a very scary elite to find, so it makes sense that they're making it do a little bit less damage. So the like big payoff move is going to do 1 less base damage, and the vigor is going to do 1 less. So basically the big attack it does is going to do 2 less damage usually. So test subject in phase 2 is going to do a different move. I guess it's going to do the multi-attack. Anyways, Fury is going to be better. Leafy Potteries. I think this is the one that removes one or transforms one strike and one defend. Makes sense, it was really strong. Precarious Sears, I think this is the one that removes 2 cards. And makes sense because it was very strong. Thanks is Try Boomerang. So it no longer reduces cost. So before it was reducing cost of 3 cards, 3 attacks by 1. And now it is going to double damage on the cards you enchant. It's actually going to be stronger most of the time, but you can get harder infinites with it. So yeah, this is another anti-infinite change, because you could get this and then you are going infinite with your pommel strikes, for example. Any 1-cost attack that draws is going to go infinite if you just have that, like 2 copies of that, made cheaper by this. Vaku's Preserved Fog Relic. Cards removed decreased from 5 to 3, and Folly Curse is now ethereal. So Folly is a curse that you get from this thing, and you cannot remove it. So it's a permanent curse. But now when you draw it, it is going to exhaust by itself. Regardless, they are going to go from removing 5 cards into removing 3 cards. So before you could remove all of your strikes, even on the silent with this relic. And now it is no longer possible, so this relic is kind of going to be horrible. Because if you compare it to Empty Cage, which just removes 2 cards without giving you a curse, but instead of removing 2, you got 1 more, and then basically the third one becomes a curse, which is even worse than a strike. It's hard to be worse than a strike, but a curse is definitely worse. This is a horrible relic now. Not horrible, but it's going to be less good. Now, Dense Vegetation. Lose 8 HP, gain 61 to 99 gold. So I'm pretty sure it was before. I think you lost more HP or you gained more gold. Oh, the other one was the one that made you fight enemies and regain health. And the Endless Conveyor is the thing that you can like keep on taking for 35 gold. It is now going to be 40 gold. And it is no longer going to spawn unless you have 120 gold, which means you can eat 3 times, you know. Before it was 3 times, but with a lower cost. So yeah, they just made this event a little bit worse. Which makes sense, because this was an extremely strong event. Because you could remove a card, you could upgrade a card, you could get like a really nice AoE, no, it was 5 strength for this turn card. So yeah, it was really strong, and this makes sense a lot. Grave of the Forgotten. So this is the thing that removes exhaust from your card. Can no longer spawn unless every player has a card with exhaust in their deck. So all of these are changes, or both of these are changes in multiplayer. Spirit Crafter event. So rejection is now lose 10 HP and upgrade a card. I think Spirit Crafter was the one that turns your cards into a different card. Or you lose HP and upgrade something. So I think this is going to lose more HP. Around the party event, it cannot spawn if you are going to guaranteed die from it. Unless all players have at least 12 health. Because there was an option that like you lose HP. I think you lose like 12 HP and get a relic, or you get a full heal, but you lose 4 HP every turn. So you can't die from the other option, I guess. Nerfed Beacon of Hope cannot be stacked. Believe in You. So the Believe in You gave you free energy for the other player for 0 cost, so it's going to give you one less energy. Still absolutely insane. And Huddle Up now exhausts. I don't remember what it does, but yeah, multiplayer cards. Getting a little bit less OP. Oh, what happened? Oops. My bad. I think that's all of the changes here. You can now skip relics, phobia mode. Yeah, so you cannot get achievements with this anymore. A way to disable map drawings in multiplayer, so if someone is trolling you, I guess you can turn them off. or I guess to clear up the screen. Like you realize, oh, this path is kind of garbage actually, let's just remove it. I don't have the motivation to remove it by hand. Fairy in a bottle and a lizard tail, and now specify that they trigger specifically when you reach 0 health instead of when you die in any manner. So it might be that they no longer work when you doom yourself to your death. Yeah, that's all of the relevant changes. The rest is like a lot of bug fixes into the game. Overall, I agree with basically every change here, but I do not like that they changed the prepare card. Yeah, the door maker. I don't like the door maker, the changes to him. But yeah, thanks for watching. This ended up being a very long video, what the hell. 54 minutes of me yapping. There were a lot of changes. Keep in mind, this is 1 week after a release, like 10 days actually. 10 days after a release, and they give you this many changes. That's kinda crazy. Insane work, by the way. Insane work. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed my commentary, give me a subscription.